Ah, it's actually me. Sorry for this huge break, I bounced from video to video to video, and now I've arrived at this one. This is a subject I've wanted to tackle since I think I have a bit of a different opinion over it. Let's get it on.
Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Select to make
Let me see here. I really want to talk about the current atmosphere of people being really ticked off about fighting game characters not staying dead. I get it, somewhat. I think that there's definitely a good and a bad way to do it, and I want to talk about both. But first, let's look at characters who have revived themselves in the past. Let me see here. Bison, he's a big one. I'll talk about him later. Geese Howard, Heihachi. We'll talk about him too. I feel like Rugal came back. If he didn't, yell at me in the comments. Charlie too, but he was revived and proceeded to be in the biggest fumble in the history of fumbles. But I don't want to get into that. There are probably some Mortal Kombat characters I'm forgetting. And also, does Arya count as Justice's revival? I hope so. Anyways, this video is a how-to. What makes a good fighting game revival and a bad one, to me, of course. And I'm not the authority, so we can talk about it in the comments. Let's talk about the one I'm not the most happy about. Excusing the fact that he might just be the worst person on the planet, I'm not joking. Heihachi coming back is, can I say too soon? But you're happy about M. Bison coming back? I know, but there's something fundamentally about Heihachi's character here that just doesn't fit into the whole "Ayo, I'm back" thing. It's just like once was enough. Heihachi coming back from his death in Tekken 1 to reappear in Tekken 2 was the definite end of this trend. You see, Tekken has a lot more, let's just say, tangible story than Street Fighter. I mean, that plays a lot into my leniency. If I can defend this, realistically, Heihachi shouldn't have this plot armor to cheat death twice. I know it's in Heihachi's character to cheat. That was the whole point of that final battle in Tekken 7. That Heihachi is so fueled by what I presume is rage that causes him to fight and cheat death, effectively. But the thing about the end of Tekken 7 and the entire story, not the DLC story, I haven't seen it yet, Heihachi's death was definitive. In the Tekken 8 story, you have characters like Jin and Kazuya reeling from the mere resemblance of Heihachi and other characters. It's just that you would think that Kazuya would have more to say than, "I thought you were dead." I actually have to go watch the DLC story mode now, so I'm gonna go do that. I guess I realized I can't fully finish out this argument till I've seen the story. I'll be back. I don't even know where to start. I hate this story. I understand the whole art of misdirection thing, and yeah, it was crazy to hear that Harada lied, but this random Tekken monk? Hold up. Let me get to the Tekken monks in general, actually. How could they have existed as Tekken monks if the first Tekken tournament happened in 1994? Yeah, Tekken 1 is literally Tekken 1 in universe. That is the first King of Iron Fist tournament. Also, who are they? Apparently they're older than Jinpachi, but they're practitioners of Mishima karate. The thing that belongs to the Mishimas. Plus, Jinpachi is dead. It doesn't make sense. Even if a prior, very old Mishima, who we haven't seen, started the Tekken monks, that Mishima ends up going back to the Zaibatsu. How do the Tekken monks think what they're doing is right if they aren't Mishimas? Or not even related to the Mishimas? It's a village of all dudes that believe they're preserving the Mishima fighting style without being Mishimas themselves. Okay, to Heihachi, first of all, how did that Tekken monk know to save Heihachi, or even know that they were up on that volcano? Yes, I do know that the final fight of Tekken 7 was being broadcast on live television, but these guys are monks. Monks don't have TVs or any other modern technology. They renounce those things. So what, he just happened to get a feeling? Apparently. And also apparently, the two important monks in the story have names. I had to look them up. It's Seiryu, the one who saves Heihachi, and Suzaku, the old leader man. I'll get to him later. But how does Seiryu know? He doesn't have any power other than the preservation of the Mishima clan. I mean, Suzaku, the elderly leader, says that Kazuya taints the Mishima fighting style, but not Heihachi? Why did they save him? They know his backstory. Let's just count it down. 1. Heihachi killed his father by locking him up and having him starve to death under their house. 2. Killed his wife. In self-defense is a good argument, but it's kind of flimsy here. 3. Threw his 7-year-old son off of a cliff. 4. Adopting a son only to raise him as a rival for Kazuya. When the son fails at being a rival, he disowns an adopted son. 5. Takes in his grandson only to harshly train him, breaking him down, changing him into a different person, using him to get closer to an ancient, vengeful being, then shooting him in the forehead when that grandson was of no use to him. 6. Has another son with a random lady in order to discern if he has the devil gene, and proceeds to abandon that son and the mother. 7. Oh, I forgot. He forces his compatriot into cryosleep, and then only to impregnate her with a super soldier baby, and have her give birth to it while in cryosleep. And then after that baby runs away and grows up, Heihachi hires her to kill the cryosleep birthed son. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but how can the Tekken monks look at Kazuya and say he's dishonored the fighting style? Heihachi has done worse? Anyways, these monks are stupid to think that Heihachi had lost his memories. I mean, look at his wrongdoings. I feel like it would be safer to still treat him like Heihachi Mishima. The evil Heihachi Mishima, by the way, but also Lydia, Eddie, and Yoshimitsu are all idiots. Why would they just let Heihachi hang out here? They could have told Lars, Lee, or even Jin about it. Why would they keep this secret, especially when they needed help of someone way stronger when Heihachi regained his memories? I mean, which, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how he lost those memories in the first place. Heihachi gets knocked out multiple times in Tekken 7's story, and none of them left him with amnesia, especially when all of Hanmaru was toppled on top of him. It has to happen so he can get his memories back. Ooh, how he regains his memories. So anyways, in the story, the Tekken monks have propped up Heihachi as the savior of the Mishima fighting style, so they teach him the Mishima ultimate technique. And this involves an amnesiac Heihachi fighting his former evil self from Tekken 7. This would make you think that, this is a new Heihachi because he actually effectively defeats his past self, which is wow, that's actually great. So when Heihachi does this Star Crusher trial thing, the monks knew that when Angel Jin and True Devil Kazuya fought in space in the Tekken 8 story mode, a meteor would happen to fall near their village, and so they taught Heihachi their special technique to protect them. Sucks that Heihachi broke the meteor with his head, causing the memories to just flow back to him. What a shame. Wait. Anyways, Lydia, Eddie, and Yoshimitsu all get mollywopped by Heihachi, and the man is free again. He's back to normal. Yippee! So I think that effectively details my thoughts. Oh, I forgot. When Suzaku said Devil Gene, Heihachi had some memories of it, but then immediately pushed them aside because he was a different person. Also, I guess Kazuya taints the Mishima fighting style because of the Devil Gene, which I think is stupid because of how horrible Heihachi actually is. This story mode is a case of characters being stupid just so we can advance the plot / return to the status quo. Yeah, it feels like a full-on sprint for let's get Heihachi back to normal instead of let's make a new Heihachi, something I'll focus on in the next section. See what I'm doing here? Bad news, bad story, good story. And yes, I do think M. Bison's inclusion in Street Fighter 6 is good. I have to clear this one complaint out of the way first. I keep seeing this argument and it just bugs me. A lot of people in the community are saying that M. Bison returning removes emphasis from the current villains, Urien and Gil, and the new villain, JP. But I have a secret to tell you. Come here. He has amnesia. But I hear you calling from the comments section. You just talked about how it made no sense for Heihachi to lose his memories and have amnesia. I know, because it is clunky that M. Bison lost his memories too. It isn't clearly explained how he lost his memories either. So, I will give you that one. But I still do not agree with the fact that he is taking attention away from JP at the moment. Gil and Urien aren't 6 yet. Because of M. Bison's predicament, he's sort of operating as his own character. Yes, I do know that he is the real M. Bison, and that does take away some of that novelty, but at least Bison is still an amnesiac at the end of his story, unlike Heihachi. Also, when M. Bison asks Juri in his story mode, she doesn't give him a real answer that helps him out. And Bison is at square zero even in regards to his own power set. He doesn't even know what his psycho power is, let alone how it works or who taught him it. There's a piece of lore about M. Bison being one of the 3 students who were taught psycho power. I hope that JP is one of those fellas. That would be amazing. Plus, I think it would allow M. Bison to take on a different role. I mean, he rides a horse now, which might not seem important, but M. Bison prior would have found that lowly and uncultured. For me, Capcom is setting up a very interesting character with a unique base. Even with some of its caveats, M. Bison has a lot of promising potential, and that is what has me on M. Bison's side. Compared to Heihachi, now I am not far into the World Tour mode, enough to have not met M. Bison yet, but I do think that Fong discusses the idea of him not being the real Bison, which I believe isn't true, but at least the discussion is there. Plus, this is in Bison's character now. Bison body hopping is the name of his game. Unlike Heihachi, who has happened to survive, once by his own whims and the other by a deus ex machina, Bison is relearning about himself. And once someone actually explains who he was, I think we would get another character by that point. And I think that would be rad. There is a fighting game boss that trumps both of their revivals tenfold. Geese Howard, baby! He died in Real Bout Fatal Fury back in 1995. So, how is he around, you're asking? Come here. He's a literal ghost. In the canon SNK games, yeah, because, like, in Kano Fighters, he basically is, like, in there as his alive default, but those games don't actually have a working timeline. It's like a hyperbolic time chamber, man. It's kind of weird. Anyways, but yeah, Nightmare Geist is just there, and it's really cool. So even if he's been dead canonically for years, it's about to be a lot of years, but even if he's dead, he's been dead, he can still interact with characters in the universe, in their nightmares. He's scary. Honestly, with the existence of Phantom Bison, this would have been a great direction for him too. Would have been stellar. But I think that it was good of Capcom to take a new direction. Back to Geese, this form allows him to interact with characters he affected, like Rock, who, while being Geese's son, renounces the evil ways of his late father. I don't know. I just know when you have an iconic villain, you definitely want to keep them around. Yeah, when you have a popular character in anything, you want to keep them around. Yeah, Heihachi being back in Tekken 8 has definitely garnered the game some attention, even with the review bombing. Sorry, Harada. I could say the same with Bison, but I digress. You're a connoisseur of fighting game lore. Wanted to talk about this for a bit. After discussing this topic at length, I could understand if you don't vibe with my complaints, simply because I do have a bit of a bias, and Bison is my G-Dog, but I still believe my talking points are very solid, and that we should really think about how or even why we're bringing back characters in the first place. My biggest thing is that I would hate for fighting games to turn into the movie business, unable or unwilling to grow with new ideas or characters. Not saying that we're there yet, but it's definitely a thought of mine. There's so much creativity. We should use it. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, no, so, like I said at the beginning, I was just jumping from idea to idea to idea, and I realized the whole thing with Heihachi has been getting some news, and I thought that this was my moment, capitalize on that wave, and talk about Heihachi. I'm glad that I was waited, because then now I can do the dichotomy with both M. Bison and Heihachi. I forget what the video idea was before that, but the Street Fighter lore video will come out. I just want to wait until there's something that gets a lot of more people talking about Street Fighter 6, and then I'll probably have the script finished by then, so I can record and get it out. Thanks for all of you 24 people that have stuck around and watched my stuff. I think that's really, really cool, and I'll probably do something special for 100. But, stay tuned for more from me, because I am Mo Fubuki. And, like, seriously, because, like I plan to make more stuff.